Good evening. We are back. Fireside chat with Kane. No, I'm not gonna take Freddie's name, but in honor of Freddie, hold on. Where we got? We are gonna light a candle because I've taken his time slot and I offered him. I offered for him to come on because I thought it'd be good to pass the torch. Since he's run away from the network and run away at a time when we all really needed him to be here to put out content. So we're gonna light a candle for Freddie. Fireside Freddie. Fireside chat is gone. Come on, light up. There we go. We'll put it right up here. There you go. We're gonna be one of those shows where we get going and we're gonna talk down to people and we're gonna act like we know more than everybody. It's the kind of show we're gonna do. No, I could never do that. But I did offer for Freddie to come on. Hold on, let me get the mic set up. He didn't want to, which is fine. I had questions to ask. The last time he was on his show, he had on Justin and Dave, and they left a lot on the table. A lot was left on the table. Nobody's asked him about his magical weekend in Laconia. There's some other questions that haven't been answered, and he didn't want to come on and answer them. But right now, I can hardly think. There's a floor being put in downstairs, and the smell of the finish that they've put down there is coming up through, and it's honestly, it's unbearable. Honestly, it's unbearable. I don't know. Somehow my girlfriend slept through this last night. It's pretty amazing. I don't know how she's done it. I couldn't. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Am I staying? Am I going? Yeah, I don't think I'm going. But anyway, welcome back. I am gonna keep this fireside around me. I want to feel Freddie. I miss his content. I think it was a weird move to leave right at the time when we really needed the content because Kirk's gone. He gave no real answer. It wasn't anything that was really, satisfactory. It just seems like he just quit. And, I think Meadows is right. It's okay to take some time off, but to just completely say you're going to go away and not come back. And, nobody cared about this show more than Freddie. Those views were very important to Freddie. And for him to run off and leave us with this gap on Wednesday nights. Now look what you've done. Now I'm here. That's not good for the people. They want to see Freddie, So anyway, Freddie's gone. It was the end of an era. Hopefully he comes back with a better show, something different. I don't say better. That's not the right way to say it. Hopefully he comes back because I'm a big Freddie Lynn fan. And to be honest, I've gone through all the shows now, and I guess this week I was going to use your whole open Freddie, your whole intro, but I decided not to. I don't want to get slapped on the wrist. But the truth is, every week, what I'm going to start doing is just using somebody else's open, I guess. I guess hopefully I'll get one. Every single show has one. Maybe next week I'll use Timeout Talks. I like those guys. I don't think they'd mind if I use their open. The week after that, I'll use Hot or Not. Then I'll use the Brando show. Then I'm going to use the one with the koalas from Australia. Menor stuff, I guess that's what we'll do. I'm literally, I think at this point, the only show that doesn't have an open, which, not the end of the world or anything. I know Menor's new show doesn't have one yet, which is shocking. I was pretty surprised, but I guess he, stayed true to the essence of the show where there's no real open on Kirk Minahan's show anyway. So that'll be that. I guess, John just kind of, he seemed a little mad the other day when I criticized Jake. So maybe he's still, still fuming. Doesn't want to make that open. I would just like to put something out there. You guys are good at that. I could never do it. So I don't want to be too upset about it, but yeah, it's the first thing on there I wanted to say is it's still not there. So I guess each week I'll just pick something to use and that should work good. They're all here. So that's exciting. I guess we'll address last night's Mousegate. Uh, you know, truth be told, I mean, I mean, I don't know what happened. I slipped. It slipped out and just honestly just hit Don's name perfectly. I was just went to him, nobody else, and somehow it just got on his name and it just knocked him off. And I didn't mean to cancel you off the show, Don. I mean, I really was enjoying your comments. So it was really just a slip of the mouse. It was just a complete mistake. Uh would I do it again? I hope not. I hope I can not, I can hold the mouse right and I don't click on the names and knock them off. I know it's not right. There was a lot of free Dons out there, people loving this guy. So, it was an accident and hopefully, I'm hoping it never happens again. Brando, he got up there, he put on a great show. And to be honest, I didn't really miss anything from you. So, but yeah, it was a complete accident. And I just got to be a little more careful with the mouse. I mean, I had Boner Salad reaching out. He wanted to get the scoop. He seemed convinced that I was telling the truth. So, that's all it was. I know it was just a slip of the wrist, but oh boy, lagging, not good. Yeah, a little slip of the wrist, but so we interesting with Bradley Stein, a guy who I really not a big fan of. I didn't really care for his show appearance, to be honest. I didn't think it was really matched the show. Now he's gone around and kind of, in different areas of the internet, basically saying that his work, Newsmax, I know I heard Manners the other night say Newsmax might tell him that he can't go on any shows, which is understandable. I guess if they might not let you go on to the Barstool podcast, I have trouble believing that they're saying you can't interact with anybody from the show. Nevertheless, he clearly said he was going to take a break. And he's still, all over the place tweeting and doing so. We haven't got the real story from him, but I will say he threatened me. He told me he was going to put me in the ICU, which is concerning. I can't tell you where I heard that. There was some talk that I was the one who may have slipped his private stuff, his private messages to Dave Cullinane. I've asked Dave Cullinane to clear my name. He won't do it. But I think now we know it was, my personal opinion. I could see somebody like Mikey Grabbags being the one that kind of, sent that over to Cullinane. That's kind of what his role would be, somebody like him. But he's either making it up, the whole thing. He threatened me, saying he'll put me in the ICU. I mean, I should have reached out to Newsmax. I didn't. Not that they would know who you were, Bradley. I doubt they'd even know, but he's claiming he got reprimanded by Newsmax. That's why he couldn't do Mike and the Minifans. He can't go on the shows, but he's still interacting everywhere with everybody. He's a compulsive liar. Some other people have called him out and questioned his validity of the story. Personally, I think he just, I think somebody in his family got wind, saw him on the show, and they were just we've seen how embarrassing he is in general in life. And we're just like, Brad, you went out there in public. Now everybody can see you. And they saw what you did. And I think his family really shamed him. That's kind of what I think happened. I don't think it was necessarily Newsmax. I think it was more of a family thing, just shaming him. And they were embarrassed by him. It's understandable. I mean, he was awful on the show, but that's not even the thing. He's just such a he's kind of just an asshole. I think I'm not a big fan. But hopefully he makes it back on the show. I doubt he will, because now he's blaming his work for not letting. But I really just think he didn't want to go to Mike and the Minifans because also he just didn't know what to talk about. He didn't have really any topics. I don't think he really follows the show that much. So, it's kind of was hard. It was hard to watch him, kind of implode like this. I got under his skin very quickly. He's very, very sensitive. I just don't think he's a fit at all, but it's fine. Anybody can do what they want to do, but very sensitive, threatened me. I was very nervous. Had my life on the line. I didn't know what I was going to do. I don't know. So, but I didn't reach out to anybody, Bradley. Not this time. Not this time. I did clip it and save it just in case. Just in case. You come up on me and show up and put me in the ICU. I'll have the evidence of the major threat that you had on me. I was very, very scared. But yeah, he is an absolute piece of shit. Not a fan. I hope to never ever see him again. To be quite honest. We also today, crazy. Somebody bought views for timeout talks. I don't know who did it. My suspicion. Don was very salty last night after my mouse slippage. He's been coming at Menners hard. He's been coming at me. He seemed really rattled. He's also mad at Luke McKay. Something happened there. He's mad at everybody. Some people told me that they don't think it was him because he would have done it to Menners, but I'm like, well, he's a pretty clever guy. I'm not sure why he would do it to Josh, but I just got the suspicion that, if somebody's going to buy views and try to hurt the network, it's definitely Don, the jeweler. So it makes a lot of sense that it was probably him. I hope not. I hope not, Don. You don't. That's not the kind of things you want to do. It's kind of just poor. Those guys, Josh, and is it James on there too? I'm not sure. I know he's had different people on that show, but those are good guys. And when you buy views for them, Don, and try to fuck over the network, it's just, it's just not classy, classless. Couldn't believe he did that. I don't, we don't 100% know, but I'm hearing Colony's looking into it. He's going to get to the bottom of it. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He figures out a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, he was unbelievable, Don the jeweler. He was so upset last night over some nonsense, over a mouse slip and then to buy views and try to, just all adds up to him. So, what else we got? Oh, yes. That's was the other thing. So yeah, I had a crazy rant, obviously, on Jake. Kind of talked about it yesterday on Brando's show, but the craziest thing was Montante just bought, he's like, so first of all, Montante called me. He called first time he's ever called me. I broke the Montante cherry, which was great. He called me and he didn't even know my kids were right in the car. And after we got done talking, my daughter was like, who was that? It was Michael Montante. But he was kind of, I guess, like somebody tweeted that I was knocked off the network or suspended or something. He didn't. I didn't even know. So he was telling me, but that's not really what it is. But it was nice to finally have that first conversation on a phone with Montante, with my kids sitting right there. But he was good. It was classy. Nothing crazy. I would have hung up if it went too nuts, but it was a perfectly normal call. But Jake really got under my skin recently. Again, I put myself out there with trying to talk to people in Laconia that were coming in. Just basically, Jake's idea was the red carpet thing. So I said, oh, we'll go with it. Clearly he had nothing really to do with it. And I said, I'll do it. Jake's seemed we've been getting along decently. So I put myself out there and then we go with it. And guess what? Then it turns into this thing. And I don't know, I don't know exactly what happened, but then John came on and started screaming at me on the other show. I don't even remember anymore. Anyway, me and him got an argument. He was defending Jake's, and I kind of threw him under the bus and all this stuff. But behind the scenes, Jake was, calling me. He's like, basically, you're a pussy, like you're a coward. And I'm like, I can't figure this fucking guy out. All I wanted to do, I said to him, we can go on, talk, do some shows. That's it. Then he wants to, and then it turns into now he's running a show and I'm coming on to be like his guest. I said, I never agreed to that. That's not what I agreed to. I said, I'd go on and do a show with you here and there and co-host with you, but I'm not going to be like not knowing who's coming on the shows and you're just going to run something and be like your guest. Like I was never going to do that. I have no interest in doing that. There's plenty of other things in the world I could do besides that, but I don't mind going on if we're both going just us, we're talking, no problem. So you go out there, you do that for him, and then he just has no appreciation and just fucking boiled over to that. And I haven't heard from him since. But yeah, it was a crazy rant. I was shocked Montante thought I could believe that I could have been sober in that. It says a lot about Montante, I guess, but I can't imagine that he could have believed that. But yeah, it was a little bit of a rough night that night for me. But in general, I don't take back any of it really with him because he's just a fucking selfish piece of shit. He only cares about himself. And I didn't really see that until then. And I thought, what's the big deal? Like you go and help this guy out. But I didn't see what other people saw. People had warned me. I didn't listen. And, that's what he gets. He gets a crazy rant like that, and I haven't heard from him since. So, bon voyage. I hope to never see you again. Yeah, I hope to never have to talk to you again. To be quite honest, maybe I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you on GVE or something like that. But I'm not really interested in seeing you too much. So Manners had his news show. Enjoyable show. Not sure the impression completely landed, but yeah, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. I'm not really sure about the direction of where it goes from here. There's still some things to work out, I think, to keep that going. But there's no other content right now, really. So that's kind of stuff you got to do as a leader. You go out there, you put out the best content you can. And get people talking, and it was pretty funny. He also did a show, which was another really good show that Manners did, was with Tom Shattuck on his All You Can Eat pod, which was very good. There's a lot to Manners that, I now I know for sure he was a front of the house guy. But yeah, ownership in restaurants is not easy, and it was interesting to hear him talk about some of that stuff. I was laughing. Tom he seems like doesn't know much about restaurants. He was talking about corned beef hash. One of his friends sells corned beef hash, and they make a lot of money out. That's kind of like they get it in a can and it's kind of cheap, but that stuff's not cheap. I mean, those cases of that stuff's like $150 for 6 cans these days. So I don't know what he was talking about, but it was interesting to listen to Manners have to, deal with what he had to deal with, crazy chefs, customer, and he made a point in there that was, basically what he was saying was, chefs kind of don't understand that the front of the house can like make or break you. If they're not nice and they're rude and they're causing, they can cause your business to be fucked, and I think chefs do really understand that, Manners. Completely understand it. I think that's what the scary part is that you can work your ass off all day in a kitchen and kill yourself, and do everything that you can to make everything right. And some part-time person sitting at the door, that doesn't care can fuck up your whole business. That's the part about them that's the worst. That's the part about the business that's tough, is that the people in the back are working so hard and the people in the front can really hurt you. But I will say, like, if you have a really great waiter, a really great front of the house person, they are invaluable. There's no question about that. It's just that it's the other part of it where somebody's in a bad mood at the front, as a host or hostess, and they just rude. It takes away from what everybody else is doing, and it's a really frustrating part of the business. It's understanding it. I understand it all too well. That's why I treat those people kind of, it's not that you don't have respect for what they do, because this being a host in a busy restaurant's a tough job. Serving's tough. It's a very tough job. It's just a matter of the commitment to the business, and for the most part, what I've seen is the back of the house has a better, more of a commitment to the business. So, but a very good pod. Interesting. I think one of these days somebody has to get Manners into an interview, like full out, his whole life from beginning to end, kind of thing, or for, whatever he wants to share. But I'd be curious to see what you get out of that, because I don't think anybody, if we really boiled down kind of like what his whole story, where he lived, what he did. He was in the restaurant business. I know he does some podcasting, but I don't know much more about him, to be honest. So I would like to do that. I kind of floated to him one time, and maybe we'll jump into that, because I am interested in hearing his full story. And I will say, I've really liked lately. This is gonna be hard to admit, but I am enjoying this new little version of Mick on Twitter. Talking about Portnoy, that was I don't know those people he was with. I didn't look too deep into it, but that shot in the bus with all the little kids in Portnoy, and Mick's like, thinks he might be on Epstein's fly list. Yeah, Mick's been pretty funny on Twitter the past, probably a week or so. I've really enjoyed it. And today, though, I'm known for some cringy shit, and I get it. That Stage 5 guys lead to Portnoy. That was rough. I don't know what he's thinking. I really don't. There was some stuff in there that was just, I don't want to say like inaccurate, but I'm not sure. Like, he's kind of building up what he's done with the show more than he has. I don't see him as a major player as a Minifan. Like, if you compare to Mick Montante or John Warren or Pat, he's not one of those guys. We don't even know if he's dying anymore, do we? We're not sure. We don't know what's going on. It was I think he's a decent. It actually, reading it, it's not terribly written or anything. It was just very cringy. That would be my first take from it. It was just kind of cringy. Arm waving is not even really the word. I just didn't understand. I guess you take your shot and you see what happens. But that was an odd blog. Yeah, very odd. Out of nowhere, I saw some trolls were banging it up pretty hard, so they didn't beat me up as much. They went after this guy today, so it took a little break. A little break on me, which was nice. I'm sure they'll be back though. And interesting thing happened to me too. My girlfriend works with a coworker. I'm not gonna tell you where she works. I'm not that stupid. Anyway, she has a coworker she works with who's who I met her, and then it's her husband or boyfriend. What is it? Yeah. So it's her coworker's boyfriend, who was a childhood friend with Ted Sarandis. Now, that was pretty interesting. It's a small world, man. How they came to that conclusion, I'm not sure, but he mentioned his name, and he actually, she was saying the guy who was friends with Ted when they were younger watches his show. I don't think he does, but he did watch the Kirk when he talked about Ted when he passed. So that was interesting. I was like, oh wow, like maybe who knows? Maybe he'll be on here and we could talk about it and get the full story on Ted when he was younger. I don't know how much he knew when he was older, but he just keeps popping up, this Ted Sarandis. It was interesting. Let's see what else I got. Get the notes. Oh yeah, I did see too. I saw Robbie V. Now, Brando, you should get him Robbie the sign for you. You got the 1,000. I saw that he broke the 100 views. Congratulations, Robbie. I heard it's a very good show this week. I'm not a gambler, so I wouldn't really watch it, but congrats on breaking that 100 view mark. Appreciate, good job. Maybe Brando can make you a sign. I mean, he'll probably go to you. Brando will probably drive over there and, uh, bring the sign to you. This guy, he'll do anything for Minute fans. That's what I'm told. Okay. I will say too, this is another thing that I do want to say. I find it, I do find it very odd. And I know it's not necessarily this, it could be anybody, but it happens to be this mass gambling girl. It just is the last time I'm going to talk about this thing. And what was very frustrating is I heard Manners the other day talk about, it's gonna be a lot about Manners, big Manners fan. He was basically saying like, it doesn't matter because if that person looked like that, you would never have a chance with her. And that's obviously true. That's fine. But it doesn't matter because the fact is I know he hasn't been out in a while. He's trying to find a new girl, he's dating and he hasn't maybe had the full effect of having a girlfriend and how it forgets maybe like how things can happen. But she is on Twitter, right? So when she sees it, matters true or not, or whatever it is, you see it and it bothers you, right? So I've told her, it's not real. It's obviously bullshit. And we were able to kind of, believe it or not, after that night, there's no way I was tweeting that night. And she knows that. Did I get yelled at? Sure. Who knows if I remember or not. But the fact is, like, those things were never sent by me. And I've been thinking about this a lot with people like this. And it's just, it fucking boggles my mind that whoever's behind the account, that their instincts are so fucking rotten to the core that they would literally try to make this shit up to try to fuck with somebody's life. It is weird. I find it to be odd. It's not necessarily fucking with my life. This person's obviously a fucking psycho. A psycho. Like, the things that I've done or whatever's happened and people hate me or whatever, it's all just busting balls, really. I don't think 2 seconds about anybody in here and about who their family is or where they go or what they do for a living, or those things never cross my mind. This person knows, because we know who it is. They obviously know that somebody could see that and it could fuck me over, even though I'm not posting it. Do what you want to do. I don't care. I just think you're a fucking scum of the earth. I really do. I mean, I think like anybody's instinct, there's other people that do this too, and it is what it is. But if your instinct is to try to fuck over somebody, just to hurt them, just to say, you made fun of me, so now I'm going to try to ruin your life by posting fake posts that hopefully your girlfriend can see. What kind of person does that? That to me is a shocking thing. It does hit me once in a while, and I'll be like, wow, that's these person's instinct to do that. Where I've never, like, I can't even wrap it around my mind because I've never thought about like trying to find out where somebody works, or trying to find out who their family is or what their name is or anything, because I couldn't care less at all. And I guess like to them it's funny. I don't know. It's stupid. Like it honestly, like you still do answer the questions, whether you want to believe it or not. You'll still answer the questions. And now I think hopefully that can all be put to rest. But like it is a fucking wild scene with people that do these things. I don't understand why they do it. It's just puzzling to me. Like I don't know. So fuck you. Obviously, you still follow me and whatever. So it's not, it is what it is. I just find it to be that person to be a very sad human being. I feel bad for you. I really do. Anyway, we got a lot of comments. I haven't even looked at one yet. Let's see what we got. Go to the comments. I don't know if I'm not gonna do the Brando where I sit on here for an hour and ramble. I'm already running out of stuff. I was supposed to have Cliff on tonight, and he couldn't come on, so I was looking forward to that. Kind of had planned for that, so And, so I had other topics, but I didn't think I was going to go on here and have to ramble for more than you guys want me to ramble. But we'll go to the comments and see what we got. Anything good? Let's see. Jameson, man, have you been bad lately? What is wrong with you? What has happened to Jameson McGowan? This guy used to be a good fan. Oh, what happened? Oh, there's Freddie. Freddie, let's put him up. There you are. No begging, Freddie. No begging. I don't beg. No need to. No need to. There's always. I'm more of a go for the obscure guy. I'm not like you trying to just grab views and get a cheap 1,000 views by bringing Barstool personalities on. We don't need to do that. Say what you want, Freddie. I've said it to you before, and you're scared to come on because I want to ask you some questions about Laconia. And in DMs, he's like, just ask me here. But why would I do that? I'd rather have you here to ask you. It's much more fun. But yeah, say what you want. I'm the only one, probably one of the only shows that hasn't had any of those guys on. Everybody else pretty much has. So I don't know. I think you're wrong about that, but your impression was great. Oof. You took a shot at me too. You called me flat, which was nice. Thanks, Manners. You did good. It was a good show. I don't think you can cook though. I would like to see you cook. I know you said you had to jump in there when the cook couldn't come, but none of us are buying it. You did a half cooked job. You ran the plates. Oh, don't lie. No golfing, Roscoe. No time, buddy. No time. I'm not allowed to golf, right? No, I don't golf. Not a big golf fan. I think I ever have. Have I ever golfed? Maybe once. Let's see what else we got. Anything good tonight? Let's see. No, I didn't say I was going to. I said I thought about it, Beams, because I was very nervous. Like the guy really said he's going to put me in the ICU. You know me. I get really scared. So, but I know, like the thing is though, if I call them and I call they're just going to be like, who? Bradley Stein? Who the fuck is that? So I said, you know what? Nah, I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna be like you guys. I'm not gonna do stuff like that. Jameson, I hate Jameson. Anything else? That's another one of my big fans. Maybe it's because you are rotten to the core, Kane. Think about that. I'm pondering. Maybe I'm rotten to the core. Could be right. Who knows? Let's see. We'll go down. Just some new. Don't know who this is. Drew. Kane could still use junior clubs. Possibly. Yes. I could use those junior clubs. Timmy, why are you slurring so badly? Now, I am not slurring at all. I couldn't be I couldn't be any more sober. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. Just high in life, feeling great. I do miss the show though, because this is what happens. You got to talk about, got to talk to the people in the chat. I do miss talking about the show, but we'll be back. God, do I miss this show, right, Manners? It's our favorite show. Look, Drips in the Office was a great show. I don't care what anybody says. I just don't care. But it was a great show. And, me and Pat have had our differences. Now, he blocks me. Then he's always saying something about me I can't see. Not, like a true professional. He's great on Twitter, but blocking me is weird, If you're going to talk and bust my balls, why are you blocking me? Anyway, John was really the brains behind the show. So, like, without John there, it's not going to be the same. But Pat jumped out first. John's gone. I saw him pop his head on Cinema's show, which was A very good show. Great job by Cinema Lords on that show. I actually had to reach out and tell him it was a great job because I really enjoyed the show. Now, this is a good way to go. Let's see. Now my brain's going now. I've been thinking about this. There is nobody that's more sensitive in this world than Andy Mayo. Montante literally just kept busting his balls, and he just couldn't handle it. I always forget like how sensitive Mayo is, and I like Mayo. I'm a big Mayo guy, and I cannot wait for Nichols worth of free advice to come back. When will you come back? You should. You know, he hasn't done a show. It's gonna be like 3 weeks now. He hasn't done one. I'm missing it. I thought it was a great first episode. I think the Jeff D. Lowe thing, the marriage advice thing would definitely work. He's got to go for it. I think he doubles down, triples down. Maybe this time he thinks a little more creatively how he's going to shoehorn that back in there. Something similar to that that's going to really get us going. But I missed that show. But he is a sensitive guy. He could not handle it. He just couldn't. And Montante can do it. He'll keep busting your balls, but he just, and I think to Cinema's credit, it was a great pairing because Montante and Mayo pairing really brought out some fireworks, and it was a great show all around. Very, very good show. Also, Cinema, congratulations. The Dozens 2-1. Kirk's team is 2-1. Last night I wouldn't call it. They put up some points, but I still think they're a little vulnerable. If they lose next week, they could be back to 2-2, 500. They really haven't. The two teams they played, not really exciting teams. So I still think they're gonna. I may have to eat my words a little bit. They may be a little better than I thought, so I will give you that. But I don't think it's a championship team. So I'm gonna move the goalposts in. Okay, I'm gonna move the goalposts. All right. All right. Oh, yes. I think Jeff can be convinced. I think so. I think if the right people, somebody like you, I think if you spun it right, you're good at this. You're a big social media guy, front of the house, like sales guy. You do it all, man. You're the jack of all trades. I think you could get him on there. I think you should do it for him. All right. I never said, see, this is where Roscoe is sometimes sometimes Roscoe goes to live shows on Friday and then leaves before the show. Sometimes that's what Roscoe does. He goes to hang out on Friday and then doesn't go to the Laconia show, which is still very weird. What the fuck were you thinking? Anyway, and sometimes he says the dumbest shit. I never said Robbie wasn't going to be a great teammate. Never said that. I said the Clemmer part of it was weird because he kind of was exactly like Kirk. Adding Robbie was a great ad. I never said that. So no, don't put words in my mouth, asshole. Mm-hmm. Was Don tonight? No, Don. Maybe Menners knocked him out again. I didn't do anything tonight. Nah, he's hiding. So that's fine. Good. Glad. Get the fuck out of here. Anything else? Let's see. Let's see if we can find anything. Freddie, I'll tell you a story, Freddie. Trust me. You're gonna like this one. Maybe you won't, maybe you will. I used to own a house, first off, so I've had ownership. And I've owned other houses that I've sold. Maybe I'll bring my real estate agent on sometime. You guys will like her, but I won't do that. Anyway, me and my brother, and probably in, let's see, it's probably 2013. Yeah, 2013. My brother was a fisherman, and we started doing a lot of barbecue, messing around, travel place to eat it. And just he really was really into it. Now he wanted to start. We went up to Texas. We went to Franklin's Barbecue in Austin, and we went into the back and I talked to him. He showed us this whole operation. It was a fucking amazing operation back there. They worked all night. So we got there it was probably like 3 a.m. We were back there, we hung out, and eventually we ate the food, whatever. But it kind of we saw what they used for the big smokers. And he's like, you know what? I think I want to do this. I think I want to buy these smokers and start smoking meat and trying to sell it. And I said, you know what? We should go for it, And so at the time, he had bought a building in North Providence. It was an old restaurant in North Providence. I can't remember the name of the restaurant anymore. It closed down probably in 2010 or so. And it had a little extension building off of it. They owned the restaurant, and they also owned this other building. And he bought it. And what we were going to do in there, Freddie, just a little heads up here, a little business idea. We were going to start some food trucks. We were going to barbecue. And we were going to, my brain was to come up with a menu for this, because a lot of barbecue people are very purist, They just want to sell the meat. They're not thinking about using their stuff nowadays more. But back then, it was not as much. There wasn't that many barbecue places around really. And we were going to, get some trucks, and we were going to start a business. And then he got sick. So I just, for me, barbecue wasn't really necessarily my end of what I wanted to do. But that was what he wanted to do. And once we were going to get it going, we were going to go for it, Freddie. So yeah, we could. I didn't know, not technically, but yeah, we were going to do it. So I got that in me. Trust me, Freddie. I got it. I just told you. Well, if you really want to know why it probably didn't take off, I mean, he did get ALS. I mean, that can put a cramp in your step there, Roscoe. I don't know if you've ever seen anybody with ALS. They don't really usually work, But no, it wasn't going to happen then. It kind of fizzled away. And restaurants, they're not big money makers. I know people think they are, but they're definitely not. There's small profit margins. Unless you're Shattuck, who makes millions of dollars, his friend makes millions of dollars on fucking corned beef hash, which, really was, I don't know. There's a lot of things said at that podcast that I'm still scratching my head about, but that's okay. Maybe me and Menace can have a food debate sometime. Yes, Doc, you're right. Absolutely nothing. Well, I did own a house. It's not nothing. Actually, 3 houses. It's not nothing. I did. All right. Any other questions? Don is not blocked. I told you. Mouse problems yesterday, but in general, he's not blocked. I don't think it's a good idea to block Don, but he's, he is what he is. Everybody thinks he's Mr. Wonderful, but I respect what he does. He's good on Twitter, but I don't think he's a wonderful guy. I don't think so. I mean, that's just my take. Oh man, you're so dumb. Okay, don't get that one, Roscoe. It's over my head, maybe. Listen, confused duck who fucking skewered me over that Pat Ford thing I said about his sick daughter. Jesus Christ, he was not happy. I think it was he just had his kid. I think so. Emotions were running high, and I get it. That's fine. First of all, I didn't send the DM at 10 a.m. That's kind of what made me think more about it. But it's none of it's real, confused duck. It's hard to understand, Just keep up. It's not real. Why is it a bad move going at Robbie V, Freddie? This guy fucking says shit about me all the time. I don't even say anything about him. He just attacks me. That's just what he does. This guy hates me more than. Again, I've asked. You can hate me. That's fine, but just articulate why. And I don't have 14 hours to wait around for Robbie to articulate that to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that kind of time for him to get out 6 sentences. So I would like to know. Like, the other day, he criticized me. We're talking in a chat. And I was at a kid's birthday party, and he criticized me for talking to the chat while I was at a birthday party. And I'm like, well, my daughter's 9. It's a bunch of 9-year-olds. I don't know. His kids are younger, I guess, but they don't want to be around me. And he's like, well, I would have been mingling with parents. And I'm like, it was all women, dude. I was the only guy there. What do you mean mingle? So I sat down and messed around on Twitter. I don't find it to be that crazy. And he was, very offended. So, I mean, he's just he's a very judgmental guy, very judgmental. I don't get it, but congratulations on the 100 views, my friend. Right. I don't even get this. Why don't you explain this to me? Box eating dad, who is a fucking asshole. Fuck you. I'm not gonna get into you. Definitely not. And what are you gonna mingle to a bunch of women about? They're all talking to each other. What am I supposed to do? Jump in there and fucking cause a scene? Hey, how are you? I'm blah blah blah's father. Like, what a terrible criticism. I didn't like that slander, Robbie, but I'll do it. Ready? Okay. We'll do it. Ready? Dave, Justin, and Kirk. That's 3. All said they like me. Could be lying. It could be. I don't think so. I think they're fans, Read the top part, you retard. Nah, it's okay. I won't do that. Menez, should you have intervened last night? Well, I thought about it. But you know what? I don't want to be like that. Brando needs to figure it out. When you go on alone, it's not easy. Like tonight, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, Cliff couldn't come on. I really wanted to talk to Cliff. I had a lot of interesting questions to ask him. Not that interesting, but there are going to be some questions. But Brandon doesn't like it, and I feel bad. I see the way he talks about you behind your back, and I don't want that for myself. You know what I mean? And Brando are good right now. It's one of my few allies I have. And if you don't want to break that trust, so maybe I should have, but I think he ended fine. I told him. I think he came around. I mean, he was half asleep to start. That's not good. But he came around, and I'm not going to intervene. I was hoping maybe you would. You should have jumped in. But that's okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else? Because we're at 47 minutes. The 50-minute quote is coming. We've been told by management we got to get to 50 minutes. So we're going to get there. That's impossible. That's impossible, Freddie. Freddie, I only used your open for a couple seconds. I thought about it. I might get my hand slapped if I really used it. But I did miss you on here. Yeah, you want to answer the questions about Laconia, but the 2 producers, which is so funny that you brought them on, they couldn't even ask the simple questions. It just shows where their head is. They didn't care. That was more for these kind of shows because we care. We wanted to get to it, but oh well. Life goes on. Don't know Spanky. Anyway, I think we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for listening. Cliff, we missed you. Next week, who knows what the open can be. I'm thinking timeout talks. I'll start that up. Who knows? Who knows what could be? Who will be on here? Who will I beg to come on, Freddie? Who will I beg? I'll probably be Brando. But anyway, I know it's been tough without the show. I do miss it. And I was thinking when Menners did say this on his show, like, they did a show and he's like, you should do 3. I think Coleman said, to keep the bit really alive, you should do 3 shows a week. And I think Menners doing the 3 shows was really fucking hard. I mean, you just realize how good he is at what he does. So, Don's back. Here he is. Has Kane pretended to talk to his girlfriend in the background yet? Don't act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't know. She's not fake. not fake, but you're not gonna know who she is because I'm not gonna really talk about it too much, But in general, her house right now can't breathe down. It's bad. It's bad. It's a beautiful floor downstairs they put in the basement. These guys are so. I mean, what a fucking shit show down there. It was like 6 levels of. Was it 6 levels? We'll go with six. 6 levels of cement they had to dig through to get. They did a professional, beautiful job. I would say who they are, but that might give it away. But they're great work. They do great work if you need a floor put in a basement because these guys worked literally for 12 hours for like was it 3 straight days? Maybe 3 straight days. That is some commitment. So let's see. I'll get rid of you. Don is here. Don, I don't want my mouse to slip again. Don't worry. It won't slip this time. Unless you fuck up again. It might slip again. But I told Brando, it was an accident. He bought it. Everybody bought it. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's actually what it was. So let's see. We all know she lives in blah, blah, blah. Yes. See, this is the kind of behavior that I'm trying to talk. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You guys think this is a wonderful person, right? This is a wonderful person, right? This guy is a great guy. And this is the kind of shit that he does. Like, what kind of person would give a fuck where another person's lives or what they do or what? This is who he is. You're watching it in right here in front of your eyes. That could be you. He's doing it too. I don't really care. I just find it funny, the hypocrisy of people like him, and there's others that think it's funny to do these things to try to fuck people up. And I don't know what you're trying to do, but Don, it's beneath you, man. You're way better than this. You don't even need to do this stuff. I really don't get it. I don't get it. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. I'm just glad Don made it back. So you're not blocked. You're not blocked. You can't use that. You can't go in and cry about like you did last night, like a little bitch. You were such a baby last night. It was embarrassing. It's beneath you to be like that, to be all rattled because you got accidentally knocked out of a chat. Anyway. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. Have a good night, everybody, and talk to you soon.